So we're in these Nordic Katas that Comrie Croft have all over the place, which is pretty cool. And even we've managed to get a space for our bikes, a little outdoor kitchen, things like that. And then a bit cramped, but we'll manage. And then inside, it's pretty cool. Go through a little alcove, and then stove, Stefano, Nico, and yeah, this has been kind of our little lodgings for the night, which has been pretty cool. So we've got one of our volunteers, John, and we've got Nico, who's our comms officer, who are taking the place of a couple of the riders, unfortunately, who are ill. So, you first time riding. Well, bearing in mind, right? You're not really a mountain biker, are you, John? No. So more of a kind of a road kind of rider.
Yep.
Done much mountain biking before?
A bit, but nothing like that was.
Okay. And how are the bikes?
Too small for me.
Yeah, I thought
they don't work.
Yeah,
I'm frightened. Help.
And pretty similar to Nico as well. Yeah, how'd you get on, Nico?
I survived.
Yeah, just. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
And I didn't walk as much as I thought.
How many stages you got to get used to it?
0. Kind of need to be on it from the word go. The back brake doesn't work. What else? The rider doesn't work. That's the main problem. It's not what I'm used to. I'm used to full suspension, so it's a whole different type of riding. But hopefully I can get used to it and smash these boys.
So we're here at Comrie Croft, and we're here with Jace, and this is your steed for the race tomorrow.
It sure is.
So go on then, give us a rundown of what the hell you've managed to build.
Well, being in the warehouse as my place of work, I had a huge advantage when it came to parts and knowing where they were. So I was quite tactical in my my build. So I managed to actually stash a few parts on the fly.
Right.
So that worked out quite well for me. So I've got this Vitus frame, Vitus nucleus, which is a medium, which is far too small for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, what size do you normally wear? Extra large?
Extra large.
Yeah.
I've imported a dropper post.
Imported? How do you mean imported, Jason?
I donated it just in time for this build to happen. So that was donated by a lovely person. And carrying on from that, I managed to get these Hope parts, Hope stem,
yeah, so,
seat collar.
Yeah, so where the hell did these, so bearing in mind that this stuff doesn't come in very often, it's like for a recycling organisation, you've managed to get Hope stem, Hope seat clamp, and then what else is there?
Hope
skewers.
Hope skewers.
So you've got skewers as well. So you've got skewers.
And they came off an old 90s Trek 3500 mountain bike. So they were a bit too much for the bike, so I thought I'd repurpose them for the purpose of this build.
And then what's forks? How are you feeling about the forks?
The forks look nice. They
that's about it, is it?
don't actually work very well.
Have you had to do any adjustment to those at all? Or you cannot do any adjustment? Are they spring?
Yeah, they've got air, so I can maybe let a little air out to make them a little softer for the downhill parts, but they're not working properly.
Okay, and what about brakes? Because I noticed that you've gone for mechanicals.
So I went for mechanical cable disc brakes because they're easier to maintain, and if it's something breaks, I can just replace the cable or the pads, hopefully.
Fair enough. And so what was it actually like while you were out there?
It was absolutely horrific. If I'm being honest, Scott. The suspension doesn't work, so it was like riding a rigid bike. The back brake doesn't work, so I can't slow down quick enough. The front brake works a little bit too well for wet rocks, which there are quite a lot of around here. I had to bodge the lever, so this lever was broken. You might see it's got a bulbous end to it.
Right.
Well, that's an old inner tube cut up and wrapped around, and then insulating tape over the top of it.
So what was it, snapped off at the edge?
Yeah, and I was worried about my fingers slipping off, so I had to put something at the end to stop my fingers slipping off.
Oh my days.
And I'm glad I did, because I've got absolutely no control of the front end when I'm coming down the hills.
Oh, gee whiz. But and yeah, well, tyre-wise, actually, I think you've won.
I've won.
So we've got an
And-
Assegai on the front,
Yeah,
and what are you running on the back?
specialised butcher on the back.
So and these were these came out of recycling.
Yeah, they just came out of recycling. These are actually on an old set of knackered wheels.
Wow. So I mean, it does actually just yet again, it shows it's insane the stuff that people just throw out. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
yeah.
Like if I hadn't ridden this bike down the hill already,
Yeah.
I'd think that this was the winning bike.
So yeah, I think of the three that we've built, I think hands down. Yeah, I mean obviously death grips. So I think they were an add-on, weren't they? The death grips.
No.
You could found them in recycling.
Yeah,
as well?
these came off an old Commensal mountain bike.
That's insane, mate. That is
Race face bars came off the same bike.
cassette. What's that?
The cassette that was donated into the shop at Angus Cycle Hub.
So and gearing wise, how is it? Is it all right? Not too bad.
It's 8-speed. It's all right.
But let's be honest. Slightly outgunned for the trails at Comrie Croft.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. This thing is not made for what we are riding up here.
But it's a cracking bike that is being made complete for free.
Yeah.
And putting aside that you're racing an enduro tomorrow, actually, in a different context, this would be a cracking little bike for someone, wouldn't it?
It's a fantastic trail bike.
Yeah. So,
Just not blacks.
yeah, I think so.
Black trails.
And I think maybe if we do a little bit of work on the forks, just to if we can just get the
I might
get
let
to work a little bit.
try and let some air out and fiddle with the rebound and see what I can come up with.
Well, I think like overall, for the time and effort that's gone into it, you happy?
I mean, it looks nice.
Yeah,
It looks really
I
nice.
would agree.
It just doesn't ride so nice. And I'm worried because my back wheel is a Carrera back wheel, and it took some big hits in practice today,
Really?
and I don't know if it's going to last 5 stages.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
It might, if I ride sensibly,
Yeah.
but it's a race. You're not supposed to ride sensible in a race. I think the red mist will take over.
Well, let's hope so. Maybe a few beers will take the edge off.
Dutch courage, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bobby's build. What do you think?
I wouldn't ride it.
So, what are the main points of issue that you have with this?
My main points of issue, let me show you. And combined, it's a pogo stick.
Yeah, I think he did mention that the old bombers were a bit pogo-y.
The whole thing is pogo-y.
Yeah, maybe someone with a bit of extra weight behind them might make it a little bit safer, but yeah, I don't know.
You need a big boy to ride that.
But what do you think, especially about the bodge for using the front shifter as a dropper post?
Show me how it works.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Well, there you go. That's what I think about it.
The
It
thing,
doesn't work.
but it did work. It did work earlier on.
I think I've heard you say that before.
It did work earlier on, but I don't think it. Yeah, but I like the context of it. Obviously, it's set up just single speed at the front. And what are we? 7? Is it 7 speed?
8.
8 speed. So we're running.
with no ratio. That's a
Yeah, I know. That is
tiny
such.
little cassette.
That is such a small big ring.
I think that the rear mech is probably the best thing on the whole bike, or maybe the Hope Hub maybe.
Well, that's true. I mean, we've got.
Makes a nice noise. Listen.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I think you call that brake rub.
Do you think?
That's
Maybe.
Great for the uphills.
But do we also have a slight issue with this?
What's that?
There seems to be quite kind of like big dent in the frame.
How's that happened?
Bobby's bike. Oh no, man, you just dent.
I think I could chop that out. It's good as new.
Good as new.
No idea. How's that happened, Jason?
No idea. I don't think that's safe.
You don't think it's safe to ride?
I don't think it's safe. If it's got a big dent in it, I wouldn't ride it even if it didn't have a big dent in it. So now that I know it's got a big dent in it.
So okay. So what about the rest of the component checks?
I'm really digging these
The ergo grips.
the touring grips.
Yeah.
You know, for the long distance touring, bit of comfort.
So
I like that. That's nice.
bearing in mind this is someone who can actually build bikes, why has he put them on?
I have no idea.
Okay. Do you know what my favourite point of this bike is? The King Creek headset.
Oh yeah.
So of all the parts he's managed to find, okay, fair enough. He's managed to find a full suspension, specialised XC frame. How old is that? Do you think?
2001, 2002.
I don't know. It might be later, but it's like I'm not quite sure. We'll double check it. We'll put it.
Definitely not 2000 in double figures.
Yeah, we can put it up on the screen afterwards. But isn't it?
Today, this would have been a great bike. Technology has come a long way since its day.
So I mean, so we do have to give him credit. He has he's managed to pull the full suspension build. With maybe a bit more time and a bit more effort, we might have been able to tune the forks. We might have been able to actually do a bit more work to the float R to actually get it working a bit better.
And then it would be okay.
It might be okay. I mean, that's not too bad. It isn't too bad, I think, in terms of the dent on it. Do the brakes work though?
Yeah.
So the brakes work. So the brakes work.
Are real good.
The brakes work better than yours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Any brake that works is better than mine.
Yeah, fair enough. I was like, yeah. So, marks out of 10?
3.
3 out of 10?
Yeah.
That's pretty brutal.
I'm a pretty brutal guy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this is true. All right, next. Okay, bike 3. This is Jude's build. Even though he didn't really get much of a chance to build it, because obviously poor Jude's not managed to make it tomorrow.
The bike fairies.
The bike fairies ended up helping build it, but he did pull all the stuff out for it. And how was it in terms of actually all the stuff? Did he manage to get everything that will actually mix and match? Did he?
Everything works.
So and it went to go together, all right?
It went together.
Because you ended up building this.
Yeah.
So you ended up building this, but interesting choice. I mean, geez, how old is this? Orange Missile? I mean, it's beefy. It was like, we'll find out. We'll put it on the screen. Actually, the age of it. But in terms of the rest of the component choice on it, I've not seen an E13 bash guard like that for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
But it is a bit, since the Steve Peep days. So it is a bit of a beast, I have to say. We've already had one failure. Obviously the seat clamp snapped, so we managed to pick up, thanks to Comrie Croft, another little seat clamp just to keep the bike going. I do really like the quilted seat.
It's very nice.
It's very nice.
Very nice.
Again, another choice of mechanical disc brakes, and actually Shimano.
They are. Shimano.
So they must be better than other ones.
Than Avid.
Than Avid, yeah. I don't know.
The Avids are the best cable-operated disc brakes, in my opinion.
I have to say,
Apparently,
actually,
I just can't make them work.
I just they feel really nice. Actually, they actually feel really nice. But
That's nice.
in terms of kind of this forks bombers, I actually can't get wrong.
No.
And actual fact, and you've actually got travel.
Yeah, it's a good fork.
So it's actually turned out quite well.
They will do really nicely here.
What about the finishing kit? I'm actually quite amazed. Actually, the finishing kit he's managed to get, tuvative stem, red finishing kit in terms of bolts and stuff. He's obviously managed to find red grips out of the part bin as well, red pedals. So aesthetically, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
That's a D-Max front wheel.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. That was back in the day. That was a bit of a beast.
203 disc.
What I'm slightly concerned about that front tyre. What the hell is it?
It's a Maxis.
It's not.
It's a Maxis Mobster.
Gee, that. What age is that?
I don't know, but
Surely that can't have any grip left in it.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, that's seen better
I don't think
days.
it's going to matter tomorrow. I don't think
No.
anybody's going to have any grip.
But yeah, I mean, come on. Yet again, hoop hubs. Is a hoop front and rear?
Yeah, hook front and rear.
So-
D-Max rim, a DT Swiss FR6.
So actually, yeah, and again, all out of a recycling centre and put onto a bike to build. Marks out of 10?
7.
Oh, that's
I give it
high.
a 7.
I think-
it's a bit of history, really.
It is. It's nice. I think this would fit nice in a like literal retro collection. It's like yeah, obviously, but I'm actually by a pretty bomb-proof hardtail we've
I
got
can
there.
imagine it with a nice set of monster tees for
Yeah.
that. Remember back in the 2000s?
Yeah.
All the urban stuff people were doing on the hardtails with the great big
Yeah, yeah.
suspension at the front. Ideal for that. Maybe not. It's a bit short, especially the back end.
Well, I mean, what size is that? Do you know what size the frame is?
It's like a jump bike frame,
Yeah,
really,
I
isn't
know.
it?
Yeah, it's.
The back end's really short.
But dare I say it? I'd have that hands down over the Specialized,
Yeah,
just because of the fork.
yeah. And the brakes.
Yeah, and the brakes.
are really good.
But yet again, I think out of all three bikes, I think the Vitus that you've managed to build, I think maybe if you swapped the fork from that to that, so you had a bit more travel.
If only.
If
That's
only.
26.
I
that's
know.
29.
It's a shame, but
It is a shame.
I think actually like overall, but it does just go to show you just the amount of stuff that
Well,
passes through our hands.
Here's a question for you. What would you rather ride down the trail tomorrow? That or that? Don't go by looks. I promise you, don't go by looks.
Okay, so there's a couple of things. There's literally, you've got a dropper and it's 29.
Yeah, you think that would be a big help.
I
eh?
know, you'd think that, but I know the fork's going to kill it.
But when it's rigid, then you can't stop.
Yeah, and you can't see because it's shaking so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
I think if I hadn't built that, if you told me you had to ride one of these three bikes down the hill 5 times, I think I'd probably ride this one.
Like, what I tell
I'd
you
want
what.
somebody to ride it up for me.
So, question. If you swapped off and made that and just put 26ers on it, because that's a larger frame, isn't it?
No, that's a medium.
That's a medium.
That's too small for me.
So that's a medium. So that's still too small for you.
Oh, far too
So if you put 26s on that with that fork, so if you ran 26-inch rear and front with these 4 forks, I hate to say it, it might be a better bike. Maybe
Just
not.
because of those forks.
Yeah. Well,
I think if my forks worked all right, that would be the best bike for it. But I think this might be more confidence inspiring.
yeah. So anyway, it's getting dark. We're going to have a shakedown test in the bike park in the morning just to see what the bikes are looking like.
Yep.
And now it's time to go and hit the sauna.
Let's get naked.
Let's go.
On your right. Beautiful.
This is a lucky number.
A lucky number. As if things weren't bad enough. That is not a good omen.
Have you just got 13? Oh, that's all I needed to hear.
And how are you running it upside down?
To reverse the bad luck. I'm not running 13. Not a chance.
Would you race on that then?
Oh, I don't know. Probably not. I think I'd be more comfortable with my.
What about the nice Specialized with the massive ding in the top tube?
Oh yeah, definitely.
From this angle, I didn't realise how bad it is actually.
Yeah.
It is pretty bad. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what's your gut reaction to this?
Oh, the Vice sitting on it.
Lots of grip on the front tyre.
The integrity of the frame here. There's.
Oh yeah. It's wonderful.
Do you like the?
I like the contrasting pedal colour. That obviously is going to make it go faster.
But yeah, do you fancy riding that today?
Not really.
Scarred from the early noughties as well.
E13.
Yeah.
Jesus. Like this is such an amazing frame, but like it's so harsh to ride.
Oh,
It?
tell me about
Box
it.
section,
It's basically a jump bike.
box
It's like-
section aluminium. Can I?
Yeah. That actually fits you. Do you want to take it round? Because it's too small for everyone else. That 100%. I think you should take that instead, Paul.
Yeah.
Right?
just leave my
I think you
e-bike.
just need to take that.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Isn't it just?
I love it. Personally, I'm all about that stuff. I welcome the scrap metal merchants into enduro racing. Fly free, my friends.
But,
Do rad stuff.
Pipes in the background are just echoing a swan song.
Yeah. That's what they're going to play at my funeral. He's just practicing.
I like my one yellow rim.
Oh, come on, look positive.
It's hard to look positive when you're putting through your pumps.
So the whole point of this experiment was to see if we could come to an enduro in Scotland with bikes that were basically made for free out of scrap parts and see if we could actually enjoy ourselves. Fun or terrifying?
Terrifying.
Terrifying,
Terrifyingly
okay.
fun.
My dropper post doesn't work, my seat has broken, the suspension is the softest thing I've ever been near, the front brake's contaminated, I don't normally ride flats. What could go wrong?
I have to say, I've been, like, the amount of attention that this has actually got today
Yeah,
from
it's
other
the most
riders
popular bike.
is like by far. So yeah, that terrifies me. That feels like a battleship, so it actually might make it through the day. And then you've got a $6,000 weapon that Mikey's riding. So like for like, obviously you rode those back to back, Mikey.
Yep.
Would you do an enduro on one of those?
Yeah, I wasn't the first to put my name in the hat, for good reason. I'm very much looked after. I love the spring. It's long. The brakes work at the touch of a button.
You mean unlike those? Is that what you're trying to
works
say?
pretty well.
It works.
I mean, it's not implied braking like these guys.
Implied
but I
braking.
tell you what, they're probably gonna have a lot more fun than I will.
Highly
dear.
doubt that.
We've almost made it to the start line here at Croft. Everyone confident?
No.
Okay. Are these bikes actually going to make it to the start line?
Possibly.
Possibly. Okay. So yeah, we've already had some brakes already. So seat clamp just snapped. So we managed to get a replacement for that. Dropper post is constantly moving, and the bodge with the front shifter doesn't seem to be working too great. Actually, the most respect so far has been the orange missile. Actually, everyone's been. It is a battleship. I think that's the one that's most likely to get through. And second to that, I think is best built bike is Jace's Vitus. Apart from the suspension
And the brakes.
and the brakes. Okay, but that's just a small thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really,
Dutch courage.
Dutch courage.
Yeah.
Can you actually even open it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not my first rodeo.
I think it's maybe time to possibly retire these two because we want the guys to actually come back at the end of the day.
Would you have been happy with me riding one of these junks with you?
What we're going to have is we're going to have John and Nico hopefully ride a bit of support with for Jason today to help motivate him.
Tools,
Yeah.
keep me hydrated. That's your
moral
guys' job.
Do you want to be fanned? Can fan you?
If possible,
Yeah,
yes.
We are your
Great,
biggest
great.
fans.
We are your biggest fans, literally.
Thanks, guys.
I'd rather race at home
Why is that?
because Thailand's like smoother and like
And how would you describe this trail?
not smooth.
Well put, my friend.
That's a very good description. On point. It's not smooth.
Not smooth.
Yeah.
Right, you're going to show us how to do these jumps then?
Go on then, Rio. Can you train me in?